Hey you, how are you feeling? Vegan Truth Seeker here. In this video I'm going to talk about the 91st edition of the Academy Awards, or as is commonly known, the Oscars 2019, an absurd celebration of the wealthy, privileged, entitled, shallow in its majority, false gods most people mindlessly worship. After many film awards ceremonies, it's now time for the Oscars, the ultimate celebration of the film industry. Personally, I don't consider most of these people artists, but that's just me and I'm entitled to my opinion. However, it's undeniable that famous actors in particular make an obscene amount of money just to play make-believe, which I don't think requires much effort at all. In fact, do you know which artists make far less money and work the hardest? Dancers. And these are true artists. In my opinion, dancers are the ultimate artists because they truly have to work extremely hard and dedicate themselves fully to dancing in order to excel. Besides, dancing is an extremely positive form of art, although there's an attempt by the entertainment industry to degrade it. Even singers who are born with the voice they have, although they have to practice a lot and improve it, have it hard because they have to tour all the time, go to studio to record their songs, some even write their own songs, and then promote their music. Also, they have to take very good care of their voice, which involves some effort. Actors who make it, on the contrary, have it easy, and paradoxically, they're among those who are the highest paid. Additionally, those actors are privileged people who think they're very special and better than the rest of us. Just take a look at the awards ceremonies and how they portray themselves and how they're portrayed. It's as if they're special, enlightened beings, which in reality, it's the exact opposite. They parade in red carpets like gods wearing luxury brands, while most people are struggling to pay their everyday bills, let alone being able to afford such dresses, outfits, and jewelry. They're rubbing their obscene lifestyle in our faces, while paradoxically always blabbering about equality and social justice. What hypocrites! And no, it's not just a party. There's a real symbology surrounding the Oscars. These people are the distractors, the ones keeping us entertained, unaware, and zombified, while the planet controllers, watch my video, those at the very top for more about this, while the planet controllers keep increasing their power and control over all of us. The Oscars is not just an innocent party. There's nothing wrong about watching the Oscars or films or TV shows, but be aware while you do it, and most of all, do not admire and worship those entertainers. Do not think they're better than you. They're not. Trust me on this one. So I'll give you a few examples to illustrate the hypocrisy of Hollywood. But first, let me say that if I had their fame and money, I couldn't live with myself if I didn't use my position to improve the lives of people and animals and to make a positive change in the world. And no, trashing President Trump while actually doing nothing concrete is merely a publicity stunt to appear to be a very good, caring, liberal person. Okay. When they're promoting their films, they always say things like, it's a film about family, about relationships, and so on, when in fact, all they want is the film to be successful so that they can make even more money. With very few exceptions, most films have no deep substance whatsoever. They all say they hate racism and discrimination. However, in films and also TV shows, who is always depicted as drug lords, Mexicans and Russians, gang members, Hispanics and African Americans, drug dealers, Hispanics and African Americans, terrorists, Arabs and Russians, and so on. Therefore, they're actually promoting these racist and xenophobic stereotypes. They're against misogyny and sexual objectification of women. Really? Is there anything more degrading to women than so many roles played in films and TV shows? They're all against intolerance, but they're the most intolerant people. Ever since Mr. Trump was elected president, they've been insulting and criticizing all his supporters, and they've become completely intolerant towards every single President Trump's supporter. Even if they're completely wrong to support him, it's their right to do so. No one in Hollywood or in the entertainment industry in general is really allowed to support President Trump, and whoever does so is put aside and probably can't get work anymore. Where's the tolerance those hypocrites advocate so much? Additionally, they're the ones who have been dividing the American society the most, and they managed to turn all of those who don't support the president against those who do. They say there's too much violence in the world. However, is there anything more violent than most films and TV shows? Yes, they can influence people and transmit negative energy to people. And when they speak out against guns, gun possession, or say they're in favor of gun control, when there's guns in most films and TV shows, and also against war, how many films and TV shows have been made glorifying war? It makes me sick. Furthermore, they've been saying during President Trump's administration that he would go to war with other countries, which he did not, at least not yet. On the other hand, the most recent criminal wars began under the administration of former US President George W. Bush, with the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan, under the false pretexts of war on terrorism and the existence of weapons of mass destruction, and perpetuated under the administration of former US President Barack Obama and Mrs. Hillary Clinton. Former President Obama also meddled in Syria, which aggravated the conflict. Where were those same celebrities then? Why didn't they publicly criticize it every single day of those administrations as they're doing now? Most of them say we must take care of the environment, and we must. However, if everyone had their obscenely luxurious lifestyle, we would need several planets for that. Nevertheless, they go on criticizing President Trump for all his wrong decisions regarding this subject. Vegan food is always portrayed as tasting bad or having no flavor, when in fact it's the most delicious when prepared properly. And so they're being the animal industry's propaganda puppets. Besides, veganism is a salvation of the planet, animals, and people's health. Watch my video, Veganism and Animal Rights, for more about this. As I mentioned previously, they parade in the red carpet wearing luxurious dresses, outfits, and jewelry, even if they don't keep it afterwards, while most of the human population is struggling for the basics. So much for social justice. And why do you think they buy luxury products, brands, and sports cars, for instance? They do it because it gives them status and places them in a higher position in society. If everyone if everyone could afford those same products, they wouldn't buy them anymore, because then they would be just like us. And all they want is to disconnect themselves from the rest of us, as if they were on a higher level and we, the peasants, must admire and worship them from a safe distance. Yeah, right. So social justice and equality for all. Empty words coming from them. Open your eyes, people. It's obvious that if they earn their money honestly, they can do whatever they want with it and buy whatever they want. However, it's morally condemnable, especially if they're always talking about social justice. Come on, how many cars do they need? How many thousands of pairs of shoes do they need? How many jewels do they need? How many rooms and bathrooms do they need in a house for a family of 4 or 5 persons? How many houses, how many mansions do they need? How many hundreds of millions of dollars do they need? I, for one, could never live with a clear conscience if I had all that money and didn't do anything for others. I'm not saying they should give all their money away, but at least they should get involved directly in something that could make a positive change in the world. What about when they ask us to donate to a cause when they themselves only donate just a little compared to their fortune? Or when they attend those fundraising events, which are not much more than parties for the extreme wealthy and powerful, to parade around and promoting an image of being very generous, caring people. Instead of just donating money during fundraising events, donating to NGOs or foundations, they should get involved directly and know and see where their money is going to be spent and or where it was spent. If they create their own NGO or foundation, not to promote an image of being nice people or to escape taxes, but to actually make a positive change, then respect. What about migrants? They're always attacking President Trump for his policies regarding immigration, while they live in closed condominiums, mansions with high walls, fences, and private security. Yeah, sure, they want open borders for you and I to deal with the resulting problems, while they live opulently, isolated from the rest of us. Okay, I'm always mentioning President Trump, of whom I'm not a fan and who I think is an awful president, because I can't stand their hypocrisy. They say one thing and do the exact opposite. Come on, where were these wealthy celebrities during the quite recent fires in California that resulted in many people losing everything they owned, including their homes? These people were living in tents. Why didn't those hypocrites open their mansions for these families, or at least pay for them to stay in hotels? They're so worried about immigrants, but they couldn't care less about their own fellow citizens. And by the way, where were the US military? Aren't they supposed to protect the Americans? They should have set up military tents and provide for all those families. But then again, that's not in the best interest of the planet controllers, is it? And that's a subject for another video. And why are they now so against the border wall across the US-Mexico border? The wall's construction has been going on since the administration of former President George W. Bush. Where were those hypocrites then? And do you know that Israel built a wall across their border with Palestine? There are so many Jewish actors in the entertainment industry, and they're very vocal about it. So why aren't they speaking against it? To finish, I dare you to name 2 films that actually changed your life and 2 films that had a positive and significant impact on the planet and helped improve things. You're struggling with it, aren't you? That's because this industry doesn't have such a positive impact on the planet in the general sense. It's just entertainment, people, so stop worshipping those involved in it, okay? In conclusion, as a result of all I mentioned in the video and so much more, I have no respect for the majority of the people in this industry. They should just accept it for what it is and stop trying to convince people they're special. Then I'd be okay with it. I just can't stand hypocrisy. Unfortunately, most people will continue to consider them like gods and worship them. So those people have no right whatsoever to complain about their lives. Wake up! Okay, that's a wrap for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment my videos. Until next time, try to be happy and make others happy. So, bye.